If you're looking to apply a performance nutrition strategy this year, I promise you it's more than just eating a few extra carbs. In today's world, we're constantly bombarded with advert after product telling you need to buy this supplement or this hack or use this system. I want to show you what I do as a performance nutrition consultant when it comes to creating a framework for nutrition strategies for the athletes I work with. Because I promise you, true performance nutrition is far more than just adding a Rice Krispie square bar and a banana an hour before your training session. One of the biggest issues facing performance athletes when it comes to their nutrition strategy is a lack of structure. They focus solely on calorie and macro targets and have no real understanding as to why they're not performing at the level they want to be performing at. This focus on only those targets leads to one of three things: increased fatigue, more likelihood of injuries, and overall reduced performance. So how do we fix that? Well, we need to add a little bit of spice. We need to add something, a framework, a system that's going to give them the tools they need so they can perform at their absolute best level. This is where the PEA cycle comes in. It's a systematic framework that delivers every time. Prepare, execute, analyze. And this is the fundamental framework that I utilize for any athlete coming on board in the performance pathway. We prepare effectively. We build fundamental habits, targeted interventions, and overall go through a process that ensures we go from foundation to advanced when it comes to performance nutrition biases. Then we execute a pre-planned, pre-trained strategy, so we come to stepping on the competition floor. Nailing your nutrition is a given because you still need to perform. And then we analyze. We go over performance markers, the good, the bad, the ugly, to understand what we need to do moving forward. One of the most important things we need to hash out straight away is, when are we executing? We need to have a solid end state in mind to understand what we are targeting and how long we have to do it. This gives us the framework to build back from to ensure we support the athlete in every way possible. So let's jump into the prepare phase. It's the foundation of everything we build. This begins with understanding where we are. A fact-finding mission to truly identify the big picture of an athlete's total life. Not just food, but diet overall. Sleep, when do they like to train? What habits do they have? When do they like to eat? How big do they like to eat? Is it small meals? Is it big meals? Truly understanding the big picture so it's not guesswork. Of course, this is person specific. We tailor this response to the individual athlete. Some people like calorie tracking, some people like food diaries, some people like food photos. It all depends on the individual in front of us. This isn't just, here's my fitness pal, see you later. Because what this fact-finding mission does is it takes us from just guessing to complete awareness, which at the end of the day allows us to build forward. From there, we enter the prepare roadmap. We drive forward into the foundation, intermediate and advanced phases, beginning the process of turning towards performance nutrition markers. At the bottom end of performance nutrition, carbohydrates need to be around 3 to 4 grams per kilogram of body weight a day. That's at the bottom end. At the top end for high level endurance athletes, we're talking 10 to 12 grams per kilogram of body weight per day. If I were to ask you now to jump straight to that number of 10 to 12 grams, you would be severely overwhelmed by that. So we have to start in a staggered approach. We start at the lower end of the scale. We target pre, intra and post feeding strategies around training windows to ensure the majority of the carbohydrates are utilized to not only prepare, execute and recover effectively glycogen so you can perform at the best way possible. As we move through these phases of prepare, intermediate, advance, we increase the markers based upon the athlete feel. We trial different event-specific testing days, to trial food protocols, to trial strategies of how we're going to feed in a build-up, how we're going to feed on an event day, and a recovery protocol. Because that way, once we've tried, tested, and adjusted different strategies, we will know what works for the individual. And that gives us a foolproof system to know that come event day, we know that the nutrition is handled and the athlete just needs to perform. So let's move into that execution phase now. What do? Well, we start off deliberately with a glycogen saturation phase that builds up over the week prior to the event or competition occurring. We focus on maximal energy absorption to saturate muscles and blood with as much glycogen and glucose as possible. We focus on hydration levers and electrolyte performance markers to make sure that cramping and dehydration aren't an issue. We focus on 1% levers, the thing that people jump to at the very beginning. We focus on that after we've laid the foundation of increased glycogen availability. We use things like a caffeine taper or a beetroot nitrogen load to prioritize incredible performance on the event day itself. This is so targeted and so individual, but as we move through this and we prepare somebody through that cycle, they come to the end of that week feeling fully saturated with energy, fully confident in their ability to perform and ready to step on that stage. Then comes the event day itself. There's no guesswork, there's no panic, there's just execution. We focus on pre-event fueling to ensure that an athlete starts the day right before competing, and then a specific individualized feeding window strategy. When are we feeding during the event? Is it a long duration event? Is it multi-event? Is it one single hit? We take all of these factors into account to ensure that the athlete has a specific feeding strategy per feeding window to know exactly what they need to take on board to perform. We still focus on hydration. We still focus on electrolyte balance because these things can massively hinder performance if we don't look after it. Then the thing that most people forget, the recovery timeline. What are we doing after the event? Immediately after, 24 hours, 48 hours, 72 hours, what are we doing in those timeframes to ensure that the athlete is recovered as quickly as possible so they can go after the next phase, which is the Analyse phase. So in the Analyse phase, we do an after action review. This is where we focus on the positives, the work on points or the negatives, the performance markers that were achieved, and the immediate changes moving forwards. Here we take a whole view picture. We don't just look at, yes, I won, or no, I didn't. We look at everything else. What was inside and outside of our control? Did we execute to the standard we were expecting? If not, why? This after action review done with the athlete makes sure we cover everything so the next time we step onto the competition floor, we learn from that experience. And that is so powerful because it feeds straight back into the planning and the preparation of the next cycle. So you can see that this works. It's consistent, it's repeatable. It allows periodized planning. It allows us to learn and understand how the athlete grows after each event and each competition. Of course, we use evidence-based strategies. We make sure that we're focusing on what practically applies to the athlete, but backed up by science. The three main things to focus on is the person-specific approach, the ability to conduct systematic reviews, and the strive for continuous improvement. Culminating all this together allows performance nutrition to occur. It allows the periodized planning because at the end of the day, performance isn't accidental. It's achieved through systematic planning, strategic implementation, and continuous improvement. I hope you found that video useful, team. This is an overview of how the PEA cycle works within the performance pathway. If you're interested or you want to know more, check out the links in the description below. But apart from that, I hope you get to do all the things that I say to do. Get outside, get some steps in, train, hydrate, eat well, feel good. But above all, be kind, be happy. Let's go.